morning, everyone, and Happy New Year to you. I hope you got off to a great start for the new year. I'm excited today because today's the start of the January to June mini catalog, and it's a great catalog. And if you're a paper crafter, I know we always love to see new product to play with. And the next holiday we have coming up is Valentine's Day, so I'll probably be focusing a lot on Valentine's Day in January. We have a new stamp set, a new bundle that has a happy Galentine's Day greeting in it, which I love. I'm always looking for greetings that I can use with my friends because often I think Valentine's Day has a broader meaning. I think in the past we focused a lot on the romantic connotation of Valentine's Day, but Valentine's Day extends to more than just that. I know my friends and I used to exchange Valentine's Day cards, and so it can also be a real big friendship holiday. So I love having a happy Valentine's Day greeting. So I'm going to be using that on my card today. Today is also Casing Tuesday, which is the day when we take a card out of the catalog and we give it a makeover. And let me tell you that this is just a great way for you to challenge yourself. It still challenges me every week, but it also is a great starting point for a card. It's weird how something can be both helpful to beginners and challenging for people that have been stamping for a while. And I think that's why our group is so successful. We have a Casing Tuesday Facebook group that you are welcome to join, and you'll find the link for that group in the description of this video. So make sure you check it out if you're not already a member. This group is like no pressure. You can observe if you want to, or you can post your own card, which is always fun because we comment on each other's cards. So let me show you what today's card looks like. Let me see if I can find the right one to highlight. So look at this card. It's kind of interesting, isn't it? There's some background strips of paper that you can use or you can choose to ignore. And then you have a big main focal point with a little greeting layer. And this is a great card for like maybe die cut images or punched out images, or you can even cut them out. There are 3 butterflies on this card, but you will see in my card that I did more punched shapes, and so I kind of expanded what I did on the side. So it's a kind of an interesting card. So let's take a quick look at what the sketch looks like. So for the sketch, the background strips were ignored. So if you take the card down to its base elements, you can do just kind of a simpler card. But if you want to step it up a bit, then you can go back to the original photo and add those background strips as well. Just for reference, I used 1/2-inch wide strips, and I extended mine across the whole card. But if you were doing it to create this card, I believe those strips would measure 4 inches by 1/2 inch. So there's 5 little strips of paper that measure that distance. Oh, and I see a whole bunch of you had just popped on. Good morning to Dee and Amy and Betty and Geraldine. So glad to see you this morning, and thank you for sharing my video. I appreciate that. All right, so why don't let me hide everything. I hid myself behind my photo. So why don't hopefully, let me switch cameras and everything. Let me make sure that this is actually working. Oh, good. Sometimes when I change things over, it doesn't work so well, right? So here is my card. Isn't it cute? I love how I turned it into a Galentine's Day card. And it doesn't look overly romantic, but the hearts and all the different colors just kind of make everything pop. You know what? I just realized that I have very little light shining on my surface. Let me turn on a little bit more light. Sorry, I just realized the room's really, really bright, but despite that, sometimes we just need a little bit of extra light. Let me light up my little space a little bit. I hope that brings in a bit more light. Okay, so yeah, and this card is not really that hard to make. I am using the new Oh So Ombre paper. And this paper, here are some sample swatches of it, is a celebration choice. So if you spend $50 between today and February 28th, that's before shipping and tax, you can choose a celebration product. And we have two levels. So we have some that are for $50 increments and some that are for $100 increments. And this paper is a 6x6 paper, and you get 40 sheets. Let me grab my pack. Make sure I don't lie to you. Let's see. Here's my little paper pack. Yes, you get 40 sheets of the 6x6 paper, and you can see I've already cut a lot of it up. But here are all the different patterns that you get. So you get, they have 3 colors: Bermuda Bay, Blackberry Bliss, Granny Apple Green, and Rococo Rose. And I used 3 of those papers on here. And I use there's one paper that kind of works from dark to light, and that's what I used for the background strips for here. So you can earn this paper for free right now. And here is the Hearts and Kisses bundle. You can buy them together. The punch, this is the Kiss punch and the stamp set. You can buy them together as a bundle and save 10%, or you can buy them separately. But if you're like me, I have to have things in a bundle because things coordinate. Like the Kiss lips punch out with this, and this tiny heart that I'm using today punches out right here. So I like to be able to match it. And you need to have a happy Galentine's Day greeting. It's kind of required. All right, let me show you how I made this card. Let's start off with the stamping. Let's grab some paper strips here, and I'm going to start off stamping some with the Bermuda Bay. And I want kind of 2 colors. I don't know if you noticed on here, but I've got a slightly darker heart and a slightly lighter heart. So this is what I do. I ink it, and then I stamp it a second time. Okay, so if you can see, that kind of creates 2 different colors. This really works well when your ink is dark enough. Some of the lighter inks, the second stamping isn't dark enough, but for a dark color, like these 3 colors that I'm using today, they work really well with that technique. So I've got my stamping chamois. Oh, it's so dirty, but I should show it to you. It really takes the ink off really well. Look at this icky thing. But it's wonderful because all you do is add water to it. I just water it down every day, and it takes that ink right off my stamp. So now it's ready for the next color, and I'm going to use Rococo Rose next. This color will be retiring in a few months, so if you like it, make sure you get it soon. All right, and so I'm going to stamp it, and then stamp it again. Okay, and then I'm going to clean on my dirty, what looks to be dirty chamois, but it just really absorbs the ink really well. It doesn't release the ink back onto my stamp, so it kind of holds in place. I think that's why it looks so dirty. Okay, and then I've got Blackberry Bliss, and I kind of ran out of room on this strip, so I'm using a new strip. Okay, let's stamp once, and then let's stamp again. See, isn't that pretty? Okay, let me clean that off so I don't stick my fingers in that stamp. All right, so now I'm going to take this punch, and when I'm using the heart punch, I like to cut a little skinny strip for punching because then I can slide it in the side, and then it doesn't hit the kiss lips up top here. So then I'm just going to come through here line these up on the back side and then punch them all out. Whoop. They do like to go flying. They have a little bit of force when you punch them out. And then one more. Okay. Woo. All right, this strip is done and can go in the garbage. And now we'll go to this one. See, on this one, I could have cut the strip a little skinnier because it's peeking out a little bit right here. So you can really go quite skinny and then you won't have other paper shrapnel punching out. Okay, and then one more. All right. I like these hearts so much because they've kind of got that watercolor look to them. They look like they were like scribbled rather than they're like one big dark color. I don't know if you can see right here, but that stamp, it just kind of creates like a watercolored wash heart. It's just so pretty and so fast, right? Can you imagine having to draw these hearts by hand? It would take forever. All right. Okay, let's do one more thing. I need a piece of scrap paper, which I neglected to put in my arsenal here. Let me grab one more scrap piece of paper. So I've got my Happy Galentine's Day greeting. And you know what? I trimmed my little heart around my little heart because it was it had a little bit of a thick edge, and I probably could have done that with my Happy Galentine's Day stamp too. I'm not a big fan of putting stickers on the back of my stamps. I know that they come with stickers, and I know a lot of you do that, but I don't like to do that because it's a lot of work, and I think they stick just perfectly with the cling. So I'm just gonna stamp this down here. And that allows me also to trim my stamps really easily because sometimes I'll catch an edge with ink. So this one really could have used a little trimming, but I did fine here with my stamping. And then I'm going to use, okay, I forget the name of this punch. Let me tell it to you. It is, oh no, I forgot to put it in my, I'll have to add it to my supply list afterwards. I believe it's the story label punch. I've been starting to like add labels to my punches. I'll have to look that up. Shoot, I think it's the story label punch. Okay, I'll find out in just a second. So I'm just going to center that into my punch. And now I've stamped everything I need for the punch. I'm going over to my annual catalog so I can look up. I looked it up this morning and then I just didn't add it to my supply list. Isn't that silly? Story label punch. Yes, story label punch. That's what it is. Okay, so now let's assemble this card. So to start off with, you're going to need a card base. I'm doing a tent fold. Kind of that goes like this. Okay, so this is 11 by 4 1/4, and I've scored it in half at the 5.5 inch mark. So let me just smooth that down with my bone folder. And I pre-cut some strips of the Oh So Ombre paper. So these strips here are, oh, I've got a lot of them here. Let me put them in order. They are 1/2 inch wide and they extend all the way across. So they're 4 1/4 by 1/2 inch. And I'm going to do a little trick while I'm going to align this. I have 6 strips. The original card had 5, so you can really choose how many strips you put on there, but I kind of I had 6 hearts, so I decided to do 6 strips. I have a centering ruler right here, but if you don't have one, you don't need to have one, but it's just handy. So I'm lining this up with a 2 3/4 inch mark. So my 0 right here is my center. Or just take a ruler and measure over 2 3/4 inches. What I'm doing is I'm creating a centering point for myself so that when sorry, I went off camera here. Let me move this up a bit. Okay, so when I align these strips, I'm gonna know where the center point is, because I think you can kind of tell. So I'll take the Rococo Rose strips are in the center. So I'll take my first one, put some Tombow on the back. Okay, and then I'm going to put this up probably about 1/8 of an inch up from my pencil line. And just kind of make sure it looks straight. Okay, so you can kind of see where my pencil line is. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same for the other side. So now, once I get the second strip on here, I'm going to use these as guides for the spacing of everything else. So I'm going to keep the spacing the same. Okay, so maybe it's not quite 1/8 of an inch, but pretty close. All right, so there's my second set. So now I'll work down with my Blackberry Bliss strips. Oh, shoot. Oh, look at that. I just dropped it right on my card. Okay, part of that will be covered up, so I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, this little spot right here might not be covered up, so I'm just going to take a tissue and wipe that spot, and then later I'll see if I can get that with an eraser. Sometimes when I'm handling little tiny strips, it's very easy to drop them. Okay, well, most of that got covered up, so that's good. So that's another tip I can tell you. If you're going to drop a strip with glue on it in a spot where you didn't mean to drop it, just make sure you drop it in a place where you're going to cover it up anyway, right? Haha. I know that's impossible, but when you drop something, it just drops wherever, right? And maybe not always in the most convenient spot. Oh, geez. But you can see that I'm not a perfect stamper. No one's perfect, right? So we all make mistakes. But it's not a big enough mistake to scrap the card. So I'm going to finish this placement up top here. Okay. That looks pretty good, right? I like those little strips. It looks kind of retro. Okay, I've got an eraser. Make sure I don't have any gunk on it. And then I'm just going to erase my little pencil mark guides. Okay. All right. So next, I need a piece of cardstock that's going to go right in the center here. This measures 3 inches by 5 inches. So I'll just add some Tombow right here. And this one, I'm going to stand up to do this so I can get a bird's eye view. I'm centering it from top to bottom and side to side because that makes me happy. Okay. And then next will be the hearts. The hearts, so I'll place all the hearts first and then I will start gluing them. So I just want to kind of have like, it's not completely random, but I start light, dark, light, dark, light, dark, and then I'm going to have this greeting come right in right about here. So I just want to arrange the hearts so they look kind of random, but not too random. Okay, I think that looks good. So then I'll start with my top heart and I'll just work my way down. I'll come back and chat with you in just a minute. I'm really bad at multitasking, so it's better not that I get distracted because if I get distracted, then I won't pay attention to my card and it will take forever to finish it. Okay, so now I am working my way down. And I'm almost to that last heart. Oh, okay. This one's going to go this way. All right. So I think I want to pop that Galentine's Day greeting up on some dimensionals. So I'll just take a few dimensionals and get rid of the backings. Okay, so this is just going to give a little height to my greeting. Okay, and then I tied a little bow with some crinkled seam binding. I love this because, you know, if you only can get one ribbon, this is one of the ribbons I would get because it's neutral. White ribbon's always neutral, but this ribbon colors really well with Stampin' Blends. So you can really, if you have Stampin' Blends, you can really make this ribbon into any color you want. So it's just a good basic ribbon to have. And it ties really nicely. And it's not bulky on cards. Okay, so I'll just find a mini glue dot here on my roll and stick my knot into it. Okay, lift it off. And then I'll just find a spot for it over on the corner of my greeting. It's going to cover up my greeting just a little bit, but it's okay because this is a little bit of a sheer ribbon. Not completely sheer, but you can kind of move it out of the way to see all of the greeting. There. So cute, right? So cute. Look, and now I have 2 Galentine's Day cards to send to friends. So, aren't those sweet? Great way to start off January. I can't wait to see what you guys come up with. So you could put whatever elements you want down here. And, you know, they use butterflies in the original card, but you could do flowers. You could change it up. I did 6 little hearts, but depending on the size of your image, you could do more or less, right? So it's just really kind of fun to play with that layout. All right, let me come back to you guys over here. Let me see how you guys are today. Okay, already said hello to some of you. Hello, Michelle and Beverly and Janine and Dana. And Dana told me, yes, it is the story label punch. Sometimes it's funny how you can use, we've had that punch around for a while, and you can just completely forget the name of the punch. Over the years, we've had many different label punches, and now the names do not stick in my brain anymore. They just go flying out the window. So let's talk about a couple other things. The new mini stamp and cut and emboss machine. This one's been in the annual catalog for a while. Well, guess what? You can start ordering it today. I got it on my pre-order, so I have it right here. It is so small and light. I love this little guy. It's so cute. I actually haven't had a chance to use it yet, but I promise I will use it on a video sometime in January. But it's so cute. I love it. This would be good to take traveling. Now the width is not big enough to do all of our dies, but I've been told it does like most of them. It's just the really wide ones that don't fit in here. And you also need to use we don't have a whole big selection, but we do have a selection of thinner embossing folders, not thinner, narrower embossing folders that will fit through here. So this is just a great little portable machine. Like if you know that you're not going to be cutting anything that's too wide, this is a great thing to take with you on retreats or maybe a road trip or something like that where you're going to be staying overnight. You can take this little guy along and it won't take up as much space as our big one. I should do a side-by-side comparison one day between the two just so you can see it. So that's available today. Already told you about our Facebook group, our Casing Tuesday Facebook group you can join. If you liked any of the supplies that I talked about today, there's a link that takes you over to my blog post in the description of this video, and you can go over there and check out my supply list. You can find out all about Sale-a-bration and the different choices you have available to you. There's a lot more than just the Oh So Ombre paper. We have stamp sets, a really cute Darling Donkey stamp set that's right up my alley. And we have 2 other papers in the $50 increment range. So there's lots of things to choose from. I also have a January tutorial. Let me show you a sneak peek. Let me grab them from across the room. I am tripping over space heaters and my die cutting machines at the foot of my table. So this tutorial is not available yet, but it will be available hopefully later this week. I'll have time. It's designed, I know the measurements, I just haven't written and photographed the tutorial yet. So it is this cute little Rolo's heart. You probably know my Hershey's hearts, but now I have one with Rolos. These ones are a little harder to design because they don't nest into each other quite like the kisses do, but I know a lot of people love Rolos, so I've been asked to do more Rolos tutorials. So here's one in blue, if you don't want to go all girly in pink. Not that pink is really a girly color anymore, but if you like blue, blue's my favorite color. So a blue heart would be great for me, right? So those are my little Rolos hearts, and that tutorial will be ready later this month. And you can earn that tutorial for free when you place an order with me. Also, if you place an order of $75 or more this month, you get your Sale-a-bration choice because your order is over $50. Plus, you will get a package of my pastel pearls. I have a host code that you can click on down below, and that will tell you all about this product and how you can earn it. All right, let me talk to you a little bit more. I have one more thing, but I see Dee has a comment, so I'm going to read it really quick. Dee says, I'm so happy to see Valentine's cards after the season of Christmas cards. It's just the start of all other holidays coming up too. I love the card. Yeah, you know what? I love creating for all the holidays. That's what makes my heart sing. I love all the holidays, even if I'm not, like St. Patrick's Day, I'm not Irish, but I love creating things for holidays. I think it brings back the inner kindergartner in me. And I just, remember in kindergarten, everything was so easy, and you just got to make crafts, and I always wanted to be really good and be able to create like the best crafter in the class, but I was never that kid. I was always the one that had lopsided things, and but if you persevere, you too can get better at things. It's just practice, right? Okay, I do have a Friday tutorial coming this week, as I have in the past. I took a couple weeks off at the end of December, but now we're back into January, so you will catch me on Friday on my YouTube channel, where I'll be doing a live at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you click over to my blog and then over from there onto my YouTube channel, you can subscribe to my channel, and by clicking on the little bell, and then there's also a let me yeah, there's a subscribe button, and then there's a bell, and the bell will allow you to choose your level of notifications, because some people don't want to be notified, but some people do want to be notified when there is a video that is going live. So make sure you do that. D says, I love the candy 3Ds you do. These Rolo hearts will be so fun for Valentine's Day. They will. They really will. I can't wait to get the tutorial to you. Sometimes I wish I could be superhuman and speed through and get everything ready. I really like to do a good job on my tutorials. If you have ever seen any of my tutorials, they have lots of photos and instructions, and they hopefully really help you, take you through the process of creating all of my designs. And so I do like to spend time, and I don't like to rush it. And I do have a fabulous tutorial tester in Canada, and she tests all my tutorials for me, and that really helps me when I send them out, that I know that all the measurements are correct. Dee says, kindergarten paste, such a great memory. Oh yeah, I can, when you said kindergarten paste, I can smell that paste with the stick, and you used it. Yeah, good times, right? I just remember in kindergarten that I had a little bit of a language barrier, because German was my first language, and yeah, I had to learn English in kindergarten. So, but I always loved crafts right from the beginning, even though I really wasn't that great at anything that I did. So, but I still loved them. I still wanted to create. So I think that's like so many of us, we start off with something, and then, practice makes it better. For me, it took many more years to get to that level, right? Good morning, Mary. If you're just joining us now, you missed most of the first part of the video, but please go back and watch the rest. So I hope you guys have a great week. Check out the celebration offerings on our in the Stampin' Up store. I love celebration. It's when I joined Stampin' Up. I got the starter kit 15 years ago. 15 years ago, I got the starter kit, and I became a demonstrator. And the nice thing about being a demonstrator is that you don't have to sell. You can definitely sell if you want to, but you can use the discount just for yourself, the 20% off. So that's kind of fun. And then you can get things in advance. Like I got the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in advance. I got to order Sale-a-bration things in advance. So that there's a kind of a neat thing about, being part of the club by, getting the starter kit. But as a customer, I was a customer for 3 years before I became a demonstrator. And it was my favorite time of year, because we got free product, right? What's not to love about getting a free stamp set or a free paper when we place an order? So celebration was always one of my favorite times of year. So I just let that light up, because I know it's such a good time, right? Anyway, I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you on my YouTube channel on Friday. Take care. Bye-bye. Oh, and hi, Amy. Amy, who teaches kindergarten. Bye-bye.